welcome to the deep dive. I want you to picture this. You're alone in your room, right? Your English pronunciation is flawless. You've practiced your vocabulary. You are basically Shakespeare.
Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
Right, but then the exact second your phone rings with an unknown number, you just get total amnesia.
Complete blank.
Have you ever answered a phone call in English and suddenly forgotten literally every English word you know?
Oh, it happens to everyone.
Or maybe you've got this perfect script in your head, but the moment you actually have to speak, your confidence just vanishes. Poof, gone.
Yeah, it really does just vanish into thin air.
Well, if you are listening right now and nodding your head, do not worry at all. Because today, we are going to master phone call English in, honestly, the easiest and most fun way possible.
For sure. And look, that sudden high-stakes pressure you feel, that panic of live communication, it is completely normal.
Super normal.
Yeah. So today we're going to map out the entire journey of a phone call, from those terrifying first seconds of picking up, all the way to talking to customers, booking appointments, and even navigating those incredibly awkward wrong number situations.
Oh, those are the words.
They really are. But we're going to anchor all of this in real-life, daily use examples.
Right, and we're moving way beyond just handing you a boring list of phrases to memorize. We really want to look under the hood at the mechanics of these conversations.
Because the panic always starts at the word hello.
Exactly. And when you think about the neuroscience of it, your brain's amygdala actually detects a live phone call as a social threat.
A threat. Wow.
Yeah, because you don't have body language to read, you don't have eye contact to reassure you, so your brain just goes into fight or flight mode.
Which is wild, because that literally shuts down the language processing centers in your brain.
That is exactly why you forget your own name during a job interview call.
Oh, totally. The psychology of that first impression over the phone, it just cannot be overstated. Your voice and your word choice have to do, 100% of the heavy lifting.
Because they can't see you smiling.
Right. That initial greeting dictates the whole trajectory of the interaction, which is why mastering it is actually the best way to calm your own nerves.
Okay, so let's examine those basic greetings, because our sources highlight a really distinct difference between, calling a friend versus receiving a call from a total stranger.
Yeah, the language you use for a friend is all about immediate validation. You want to use these casual but super effective expressions.
Like saying, I was just thinking about you, or something.
Exactly. I was just thinking about you, or I wanted to check in, or just nice hearing your voice.
I love those because mechanistically, they aren't just pleasantries, right? They're like social glue.
They really are.
By saying, I was just thinking about you, you're instantly validating their decision to interrupt your day. You take away the guilt of the intrusion.
Yeah, it establishes immediate rapport. But receiving a call in a professional context requires a completely different mechanism.
Oh, for sure.
Because you need to figure out who is on the line and what they want, but you have to do it without triggering their defensive instincts.
And I see where this gets so tricky for language learners. I mean, if my phone rings and I don't recognize the number, the most direct translation in my head might just be, who are you?
Oh, yeah, which gets straight to the point, but...
Right, but asking, who are you, is essentially demanding to see their passport before you've even said hello.
Uh-huh, it really is. It's a verbal border checkpoint.
It sounds so accusatory, like you're demanding they justify their existence.
Exactly. That directness just creates instant friction. In English, politeness relies so heavily on indirectness.
So what's the alternative?
The professional alternative the sources provide is, may I know who's calling?
May I know who's calling? The mechanics of that are just brilliant when you break it down.
Right, because of that one word.
Yeah, by injecting the word may, you completely shift the power dynamic. You aren't demanding anything at all.
You're formally requesting their permission to know their identity.
Which gives them the control. It makes them feel respected instead of, interrogated.
That power shift is basically the cornerstone of English pragmatics. It transforms a command into a collaboration.
Okay, I love that.
Let's actually put the listener in the hot seat for a second to test this concept out.
Oh, a mini quiz. Let's do it.
Okay, so imagine you answer the phone at your workplace. You need to figure out what the caller wants. Which of these approaches do you instinctively feel works better? Asking why you call, or asking, what can I do for you?
Well, I mean, if someone is panicking, why you call is a lot shorter.
True. It uses less brain power in the moment.
But it treats the interaction like a transaction, like a toll booth, right? You're basically saying, state your business so I can get back to my day.
Exactly. And that is why professional speakers universally choose what can I do for you? Or is there anything I can help you with?
It's so much softer.
It is. It shifts the focus away from the caller interrupting you and places the spotlight entirely on your willingness to serve them.
So the longer phrase acts as a verbal cushion. You're padding the transaction with relationship-proving language so it doesn't feel rough.
Spot on.
Okay, so we've mastered the low-stakes opening, but the anxiety really spikes when we shift to a corporate environment or like when your money or health is involved.
Oh, absolutely. The stakes are higher.
So let's look at the language shift
Sure.
when you have to pivot from being accommodating to being authoritative. Like imagine you're working from home. You might literally still be in your pajamas.
Uh-huh. Guilty.
Right. But you need to project total corporate authority over the phone. You're calling a company and you need to get things done.
Well, the corporate phone call operates on a very specific linguistic choreography. There are just expected phrases that signal competence.
Okay, give us an example.
For instance, when you navigate a company's phone system and you need to ask for a specific person, using the imperative form is a massive pitfall.
The imperative form, meaning commands.
Right. You don't say, give me Mr. Sharma, or where's Mr. Sharma?
Because I want or give me is basically the language of a demanding toddler. It just lacks professional distance.
Exactly. So the structural upgrade here is to use the conditional tense.
Ah.
You say, I'd like to speak with Mr. Sharma, please, or could you connect me to...
I see. By using I would like, you're stating an objective, not throwing a tantrum. It projects this calm control.
Exactly. Let's actually demonstrate how this plays out in real time, because hearing the rhythm is really crucial.
Oh, a role play. I'm in.
Okay, we'll simulate a customer service environment. I'll be the angry customer calling in to complain, and you be the stressed out employee juggling 10 things at once.
Haha. Oh, I know this feeling way too well. Okay, ring ring.
Hello, I am very unhappy with my service. Can I speak to the manager right now?
Wait.
Okay, let's freeze the simulation right there.
I panicked.
I know, but wait is an imperative verb. It's a direct command. In customer service, commanding a frustrated caller to stop is basically like throwing gasoline on a fire.
It really is. It strips them of their agency. Like, nobody likes being ordered around, especially when they're already mad.
Right. So the professional correction is to deploy those magic softening words again. The modal verbs.
So instead of, wait, what do I say?
You would say, could you please hold for a moment? Or to keep it super simple, just a moment, please.
Could you please hold for a moment? Yeah, that lowers the temperature of the entire interaction right away.
It acknowledges their urgency, but respectfully manages the flow.
You know, that concept of holding actually brings up a really hilarious misunderstanding from our sources.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Because idioms in English can be terrifying if you take them literally.
They really can.
So the scenario goes like this. An employee is at the front desk. A customer calls and aggressively asks, "Can I speak to the manager?" The employee politely replies, "Sure, please hold."
Which is perfect execution so far. The linguistic cushion was deployed perfectly.
Right. But then 30 seconds of dead silence pass. The customer is waiting, getting confused. Finally, the customer says, "Hello, are you there?"
And the employee replies,
"Sorry, I was holding the phone, not the call."
haha. It perfectly captures the absurdity of abstract language, doesn't it?
It's so funny because to hold literally means to grasp a physical object in your hand.
Right, but putting someone on hold requires you to understand this totally invisible structural concept of pausing a digital connection.
It's those unwritten rules of the language that trip people up so much.
Absolutely, which is why having reliable templates is just so powerful. Let's look at the templates for other practical work scenarios.
Okay, yeah, like if you're calling a business to check on an order, you obviously don't want to just shout, "Where is my stuff?"
No, you apply the exact same professional framework we use for Mr. Sharma. You state the objective clearly, but indirectly.
Like, "I'd like to check my order status."
Exactly. And if you need to drill down into logistics, you follow up with, when can I expect delivery?
Okay, what if I'm calling a super busy medical clinic or maybe a high-end restaurant to book an appointment? The stakes feel higher there because availability is scarce.
The phrasing remains remarkably consistent, actually. You declare the intent. I'd like to book an appointment. Or, I'd like to make a reservation.
And then move to the specifics.
Right. You say, is Friday available? And if you made a mistake and need to pivot, you use the modal verb again. Can I reschedule my appointment?
Let's flip the script for a second. What if I'm the one leading a professional business call?
Okay, like running a meeting.
Yeah, I'm calling a client to discuss project timelines or running a remote meeting. I want to sound like I'm totally in charge, even if I'm secretly scrambling behind the scenes.
Well, leadership on a phone call is projected through phrases of service and capability.
Phrases of service.
Yeah. When you receive their inquiry, you establish a professional baseline with, "How may I assist you?" And crucially, if you're caught off guard and don't know the answer, you never ever just say, "I don't know."
That signals incompetence.
Exactly. Instead, you say, "Let me check that for you."
Oh, let me check that for you. Is such an incredible piece of linguistic sleight of hand.
It really is.
Because it implies action, capability, and diligence, while secretly buying you the time you need to actually go figure out the answer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You avoid sounding clueless while simultaneously looking like this super proactive problem solver.
It is all about maintaining the professional facade.
100%.
But, having the perfect script is really only half the battle, because phone calls aren't static. They're live, unscripted theater.
They are very unpredictable.
So the true test of your English confidence isn't just how well you recite the script. It's how gracefully you handle it when the script completely breaks down.
Right. And the unexpected is an absolute certainty. So we have to equip you for chaos. Let's take wrong numbers, for example.
That is the most universally awkward feeling.
It's the worst.
You pick up, you deliver your perfectly crafted, polite greeting, and the person on the other end aggressively asks to speak to someone named Batman. You're just sitting there totally frozen. The instinct might be to just hang up the phone immediately out of pure panic.
But hanging up is so jarring. It violates the social contract of the phone call,
Yeah, it leaves the other person confused.
And they'll probably just call right back, which compounds the awkwardness. You need to provide a polite off-ramp so both parties can exit gracefully.
So you want to correct them without making them feel stupid, because saying you dialed the wrong number is a direct accusation.
Exactly. But adding a softening phrase changes the whole dynamic. You say, "I think you've dialed the wrong number," or "Sorry, there's no one here by that name."
Using "I think" makes it a gentle observation rather than a hard reprimand.
Right. You're preserving their dignity while solving the problem. Now, let's look at the ultimate antagonist of modern phone calls.
Oh, I know what's coming.
The poor network connection.
Oh, the sheer terror of hearing a robotic voice garbling through the speaker.
It's awful.
You pick up, you're trying to sound like a competent professional, and suddenly they sound like they're broadcasting from underwater.
Yeah, you can't hear a single word.
And your anxiety just skyrockets because the communication is actively failing in real time.
This is highly stressful because it triggers a loss of control. But again, you have a survival toolkit of phrases designed specifically for this scenario.
What's the trick here?
The linguistic trick is to communicate the technical failure without placing any blame on the human being on the other end.
This is fascinating because if I say, "You are speaking terribly," or "I can't understand your voice," I'm basically making a personal attack on their ability to communicate.
You're insulting them.
Right. But if I say, "You're breaking up," or "The connection is poor," or "The signal is weak," I'm entirely shifting the blame to the cell towers.
That is exactly the mechanism at play.
Yeah.
In pragmatics, this is known as saving face.
Saving face.
Yeah. By blaming the invisible technology, you protect the caller's ego. It's a highly diplomatic way to manage a frustrating situation without burning any bridges.
Wow. Okay. Let's put the listener back in the hot seat for a second with challenge number 2.
Bring it on.
Imagine you're on a crucial call and the person on the other end is speaking way, way too fast.
Very common problem.
Right. Your brain is redlining, you're frantically trying to translate in your head, and you're rapidly losing the thread of the conversation. What is your instinct? Do you just shout into the receiver, "Speak slowly"?
Well, this scenario highlights the tension between social etiquette and pure panic. When human beings panic, we naturally revert to the shortest, most blunt commands possible to try and regain control.
So internally, "speak slowly" is a very logical, protective instinct.
It is. But externally, it sounds like you're scolding a child who just ate too much sugar.
It really does. It's so aggressive to command another adult to change their natural speaking pace.
Which is why the absolute rule of thumb in English communication is to prioritize the polite version, especially when you're requesting that someone modify their behavior for your benefit.
So what's the diplomatic phrase?
You say, "Could you please speak a little more slowly?"
The grammar of that sentence is doing so much heavy lifting to create psychological distance.
Break it down for us.
Well, you're using "could" to make it hypothetical and soft. You use please to signal respect. And the phrase a little more minimizes the scale of your critique.
Exactly.
You aren't telling them they're talking too fast, you're just asking for a tiny minor adjustment. It's such a brilliant way to get exactly what you need while preserving the relationship.
It mitigates the friction entirely.
Okay, so if we trace our journey today, we've successfully survived the terrifying introduction. We navigated the complex choreography of a business transaction.
We diplomatically blamed the cell signal for a bad connection.
Yes. And we subtly convinced a fast talker to speak at a normal human pace. The only thing left is the escape.
The goodbye.
How do you hang up without that lingering, excruciating silence where no one knows who's supposed to click the end button first?
Terminating a call smoothly is an essential skill because of the recency effect,
The recency effect.
Yeah, the final moments of the interaction are what the other person will remember most vividly. It's the lasting impression of your competence.
Oh, that makes sense. I noticed a very specific trap in the sources regarding this, actually. When people are busy and need to end a conversation to handle something else, their instinct is to just say, call later.
And tying back to our analysis of imperative verbs, call later is a direct command.
It sounds super dismissive, as if you're swatting them away like a fly.
Right. So we maintain the professional atmosphere by transforming the command into a polite request. Could you please call back later?
It's astounding how much mileage you can get out of the phrase, could you please, in the English language.
It's essentially the ultimate cheat code for sounding polite in any situation.
It really is. And what about the actual sign-offs when the business is completely concluded?
The goal here is to express appreciation for the interaction itself. Simple declarative phrases are best. Thank you for your time. It was nice talking to you. Or, for a slightly warmer exit, a simple take care.
Thank you for your time. It's clean, it's definitive, and it signals that the transaction is officially over.
Exactly.
We have covered a massive amount of psychological and linguistic ground today, from the very first hello to the final goodbye.
A lot of ground.
So how do we synthesize all of these complex rules so the listener doesn't feel totally overwhelmed the next time their phone rings?
Well, the sources distill this entire deep dive down into a very elegant 5-step master framework.
Oh, I love a good framework.
It's great. If you internalize this structure, you essentially have a GPS for any English phone call.
Okay, lay it on me.
Step 1, greet politely. Step 2, introduce yourself.
Basic foundation, got it.
Step 3, explain your purpose. Step 4, respond clearly. And step 5, end professionally.
Greet, introduce, purpose, respond, end. It creates a completely predictable environment.
It really does.
Let's do a rapid-fire simulation of all 5 steps based on what we've unpacked today. I'll take a swing at it.
Let's hear it in action.
All right, ring, ring. Good morning. This is speaking. That hits step 1 and 2, the polite greeting and the clear introduction.
Perfect.
I am calling to check the status of my order. There's step 3, stating the clear purpose without being demanding.
Nice use of I am calling too.
Thanks. Then, a Friday delivery? Yes, that works perfectly. That's step 4, responding clearly to their information.
And bring it home.
Thank you so much for your help today. Goodbye. And that is step 5, ending professionally and cleanly.
That was a flawless execution of the framework. You hit every single structural beat, and because you used the right modal verbs and softening phrases, it sounded entirely natural and highly professional.
Thank you. Viewing it as just 5 architectural steps takes so much of the emotional pressure off,
It really does.
Before we wrap, let's do a quick, energetic revision of those golden phone call sentences we dissected, just to really lock the mechanics into our listeners' memories. Ready?
Ready?
Hello, this is speaking.
May I know who's calling?
Could you please hold for a moment?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. The connection is poor.
Could you please speak a little more slowly?
Thank you for your time.
Have a great day.
Have those exact phrases in your back pocket is incredibly useful. But, I want to leave everyone listening with a core motivational truth about live communication.
Ooh, what is it?
When you are on these calls, whether it's a job interview or a restaurant reservation, your confidence is actually vastly more important than having perfect English grammar.
Wow, that feels counterintuitive for a lot of learners. You're saying the confidence actually overrides the grammatical precision.
Without a doubt. If you speak clearly, rely on simple sentence structures, and maintain a polite, friendly tone, people will instinctively respond positively to you.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, minor grammatical errors simply bounce off if the overall communication is clear and the intent is warm. Do not let the fear of a misplaced verb rob you of your professional authority.
Don't let the fear of a mistake rob you of your authority. That is incredibly empowering.
I'm glad you think so.
Because when you take the time to deeply understand and memorize these predictable structures, the greetings, the holds, the gentle corrections, you're doing something much more important than just learning vocabulary. You are actually freeing up your brain's processing power.
Exactly. You are actively reducing your own cognitive load.
Yes. Instead of your amygdala sounding the alarm, causing you to panic over how to speak English and what grammar rule to deploy, your brain can finally relax.
It's all on autopilot.
Right? And when the mechanics of the language are on autopilot, you can focus 100% of your energy on what you actually want to achieve. The business deal, the medical appointment, the catch up with an old friend.
The language just becomes the invisible vehicle for your thoughts. As a final thought to ponder, consider how technology might actually change everything we just talked about.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, as AI and automated voice assistants handle more of our calls, the way native speakers communicate is shifting. We talk to machines with blunt, direct commands. We don't say, "Could you please," to an AI.
That's a really good point.
So will these intricate softening phrases even exist in 20 years? Or will our phone etiquette become entirely transactional and bullet-pointed?
That is a wild thought. If we all get used to barking orders at robots, we might completely lose the art of the polite phone call.
It's a possibility.
But hey, until the robots fully take over, these 5 steps are your absolute best friend. So the next time that phone screen lights up with an unknown number, don't look at it as a terrifying pop quiz.
It is not a test.
Exactly. It's just a stage for you to practice your new framework. Go answer those calls with total confidence. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.